Point, the farthest that Round Rock ISD program has ever advanced, and maybe some disappointment, certainly some disappointment for the Tigers and Coach Thompson, but they know this perhaps only is the beginning for this program.
Providing an opportunity for every kid to see success. You know, everyone's success is measured different individually, but the team success will remain the same. So, you know, giving those opportunities on a day-to-day basis of what their success looks like, how we can achieve their goals, their individual goals that are collaborative to their team goals. What will we do to encourage that, and what will I do to enable building better young men?
We worked too hard for this moment right here. All right? This shit is ours. Let's take what's ours, all right? We ain't talking about no X's and O's. We know the personnel. We know what they do. We know what they coming with. It's all about this right here. Who's gonna have the biggest heart? Let's go, man.
Leave it all on the floor.
Leave it all on the floor.
We locked in?
Sir.
Who the show?
We the show.
All right, we got Plano East. Leave nothing on the floor. That's it. You got no reason to be tired. Let's go play the game. Remember the feeling. Remember the feeling. Didn't feel good. Lose these guys first time. I'm back in my closet. I already took care of Bowie. I already took care of Judson. Got rid of Westlake, so we done moved out of Central Texas. Took care of Brennan. Took care of O'Connor. Took care of Beaumont United. Still some way that I gotta move to go get what I want. Go get what you want. The moment is now. Be in the moment. Go get it. If you want it, go get it. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Round Rock Stony Point.
I think once we tipped the ball off and heard the roars from the 11,000 people that they said were in the arena, it was such a surreal moment because it was like, okay, you've earned the right to be here. Now you just have to play the game. And once we tipped the ball off, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty anxious. I'm not gonna say nervous, but I think everything had settled down then once we had tipped the ball off, and it became, wow, you are playing in a 6A state championship in year 2 as the head coach and at the realm of leading this program. What's going on, world? Tiger Nation, Tiger family. I am Coach Thompson, head basketball coach here at Stony Point High School, located in Round Rock, Texas. This is my 3rd year as the head basketball coach here at Stony Point High School.
I'm Odems. Man, been out here with Coach Thompson for the past 2 years. Man, been around basketball all my life. Playing basketball since I was 5. Been coaching since I was 20 years old.
So my name is Landon. I'm class of 2025. I go to Stony Point High School. I've been at Stony Point all 4 years. My freshman year, I played JV with Coach Thompson as our head coach. And then I was moved up to varsity halfway through the year. And then I've been here my whole life. So it's a great experience, that's for sure.
My name is Paul Buntyn. I am a lead assistant varsity coach. Been here, this will be year 3.
My name is Josiah Moseley. I'm a graduate 2024. I've been coming to Stony Point since I was a freshman, but I started playing basketball here my sophomore year.
My name is Uzziah Buntyn, and I'm class of 2025. I've been at Stony Point since my sophomore year, and I'm a point guard.
And love the game of basketball, man. I'm here to here at Stony Point to help. That's what I do. I come to help. They call me the help around here.
Full progression. Yes, start with layups first. The great thing about my coaching philosophy is that I seek out winning and I seek out opportunities to grow young men. It's very unorthodox to the general eye, but when you can sit around, when you can identify, when you can see the way that we build everything that we do in the gym, you can have more of a grasp to why in which the way I coach on a day-to-day basis.
I've been in coaching school ball this is year number 11, but I have been coaching basketball for 21 years now.
I've been here 2 years. Well, started out with Coach Thompson, got the head coaching job. First year we started out with a regional run, and then last year, of course, we had the state championship game, made it to the state championship game.
I was leaving a job down south, and I was looking for a school. My son is a sophomore, was going to be a sophomore at the time, and I was looking around, find a few schools. I interviewed a lot of schools. I had a couple offers to be a head coach, but I decided to come here because I actually know Twan from, not know him, but I used to coach against him a long time ago when I was coaching summer basketball.
So I was born in Arizona. I ended up at Stony Point after my freshman year, coming from Canyon in New Braunfels. And after that, that's when, moved to Austin. And that's where I ended up at Stony Point.
Yeah, it was a great season. We finished 38-2. We definitely showed some skills, showed what we could do, showed that we're still going to be one of the good programs in Texas for a little while. We came a little short of our goal, which we were all disappointed about, but we all made it far with what we wanted. So we just learned from that experience, and we'll go back this year.
Our first year, we made it to the regional semis, lost to Brennan, and so we knew that we had to stack the schedule for the next year, and so we had to make sure that our kids would be prepared to be able to make this long run to the state championship game. And so off the rip, we scheduled Westlake, one of the best teams always around in the Central Texas area.
Yeah, so when the season started, I think everybody was kind of nervous for the first game. Like, we all had really high expectations. We were expecting to blow Westlake out, but we knew that, at least I knew how disciplined they were. So I knew they were never going to stop fighting back, no matter how hard or how much we're beating them. So yeah, that game, it was a really rough game. But it was our first game of the season too, so no one really took it to the heart.
We opened up last season with Westlake with a gritty game. Our approach to the game was we had to be more fundamentally sound than Westlake, and we had to be disciplined against a very polished, experienced Westlake group and a well-coached Westlake group. Coach Lucero does a phenomenal job with those young men. They had to come over here to the Tiger Den, so that was a great opening night for us.
Westlake, man, that was I would probably say one of our closer games. I was horrible that game, not even gonna lie. I feel like it was definitely a shaky game. They hit us in the mouth. We weren't prepared like we should have been. First game of the season stuff, Westlake, they have a pedigree of winning. We were kind of just starting to get into it. So that game was definitely a rough for us.
So the Westlake game started the season. It was a great first matchup for us, see what we could do. I played pretty well that game. I shot the ball well, played extremely good defense, and we pulled out the team win.
Then we came with Duncanville 2 games later, and Duncanville was one of those games where the whole city came out.
That next game, Duncanville, that was definitely a very hyped up game.
What everybody's waiting for was a Duncanville game here at home. When I say everybody, we're not just talking about Stony Point kids and students and teachers. We're talking about the entire area and say the state. Was looking forward to this Saturday game.
First sold out game with the prestigious Coach Peavy bringing in the #1 team, Duncanville, coming down here to Round Rock, Stony Point. Nobody even knows where Round Rock is, right?
Yeah, the Duncanville game was huge. We prepared like a week in front of it, and we had some people come in and speak to us. So it was a huge atmosphere against a really good team, packed gym. It was loud.
They said we couldn't do this. That first part, when they said that, like when I said that we couldn't do it, that was huge because like everybody didn't think that we could get a crowd like this in the Stony Point. The anticipation was there. I think we were #2 in the state at that point.
I wasn't like, I don't think any of the team. I think some of the teammates were nervous because they didn't really hadn't really played in an environment like that. But I feel like when I have like that many people watching me, or like sometimes when I have like a lot of people there for me, I kind of like rise up above the expectations. Like I don't really get as nervous.
That game was definitely bigger than just basketball. So I feel like that's why we were like that. We were that confident and focused at going into that game for sure.
Very, very high energy is what we wanted for our guys, just to be on a different stage.
No, I like it. I like it. I love it. I love it. Before the game, you know, Peavy is he knows how to extract the best out of people, and I think he was getting that out of me right here. Yeah, this was that competitive. This is what got the gym going right here. Everybody thought that it was, you know, some hostility, but it's all love. It's all love between Peavy and I.
I walk in right after the national anthem. And when I came in there, I just remember feeling the energy of the gym, packed. I remember coming to the huddle and just looking at everybody, as I usually do. But when I looked in those kids' eyes right before the huddle and Coach Thompson was talking to them, boys are ready.
And I think once the kids seen that, like, Coach was locked in with them, okay, they was ready to go. They were really ready to go. Punch first. Punch first. We're fine. Get settled. Hey, I told you, I got y'all. I got you. Just go out and perform. You understand? Let's go. It's on. It's on. Here we go. Family.
Landon guarded his ass off. He worked his ass off guarding BJ, and we had Junior, another dude that just locked in regards to guarding one of the best players in the state.
Landon Short guarding that entire game was that was amazing to see because he locked in. Uzi just being that leader, being that control in the game. He didn't turn it over, and I think that's what I was most proud of him of.
Joe just showed why he's the best player in state. That was Joe's coming out party. I just remember Joe did whatever he wanted.
I think now, like after that game, like we just kind of like started like the whole run, because everybody just got confidence, especially from beating Duncanville, like a big of a team name as that, and then it's for everybody, like everybody around Stony Point, like in this area, to kind of see that. They kind of knew like how good we were as a team. Everybody started saying we're going to state, we're going to win state.
After that game, I feel like that's probably the game where we really started like flowing for real. Cause so you know Duncanville, their pedigree of winning, you know, they're always great. So after that win, we definitely put the state on notice for sure.
Icing on the cake when Joe went down and got fouled for the and-1. And when that happened, the electricity, I have not heard a gym that loud.
I don't think a lot of people expected me to dunk it. I guess I just kind of took off. I took like one step in front of the free throw line. Just kind of took off and it was an N1. And then like everybody just started going crazy. That feeling wasn't like it was like not even real because how loud the crowd was.
We got to stop Josiah push right down the pipe and just boom. That was just a cultivating piece of the game.
You know, Joe dunked on my boy Bug. When Devon caught an alley, you know, it really set the tone for the rest of the game.
You know, PV is one of those ones that I've always resulted in seeking advice and seeking guidance from. So, you know, for him to bring a tough Duncanville group down here and then for us to bring the city out, whether you were a fan or a hater, you seen some great basketball that day.
It was a great win for us. It let our players know that they could play with anybody in the country. And from that point on, it just kind of set us to climb that ladder.
Before Christmas, we had Jack Frost, which was everyone knew that it was gonna be us and Lake Travis.
So, you know, after playing, you know, the Hoop Fest events and later playing in the Jack Frost tournament here in Georgetown, you know, we kind of ran the table on our side of the bracket. It was set up for us to play Lake Travis, who was already ranked nationally. We hadn't made it to that national ranking. They were ranked higher than us nationally, but we were ranked higher than them in the state. It was like almost like 1 and 2 or something like that.
It went into the Jack Frost tournament. And that was a really big tournament for us because obviously it ended the way we wanted to. We won the championship, and I feel like everything leading up to the championship game was kind of just like, I want to say like, you know, walk in the park, but it was definitely, we got it done like we were supposed to, and so did the team that we ended up playing in the championship, Lake Travis.
So yeah, that game it was also kind of a tough game. Like a lot of stuff happened. Some players got injured that tournament, foul trouble, this stuff like we couldn't really control.
And the city comes out, pack the gym out, and it's a back and forth game. Josiah's going for his and getting easy buckets. Uzziah's having a great game. And Hudson Greer from Lake Travis is having a great game. Then he goes out, gets hurt, and so then it's up and down, up and down.
Going into the game, it was back and forth the whole game. Actually, I think we were up a lot of the game, to be honest. And then, you know, the third quarter, they started chipping away. Fourth quarter, they were up, I think, like the entire fourth quarter, to be honest.
And it was a tight game. Everybody thought we were just going to go into overtime. We just thought Lake Travis was going to get it in, hold the ball. But they ended up trying to, like, score, I guess.
Allen scored the layup to tie it up.
So it was Allen just hit a shot to tie the game. I think I missed a three. I missed it. Allen got the board. He went up for the lay. He tied the game. You know, we're all getting hyped. We go to the bench. They call a timeout.
Be a player, let's go. That's how you be a player. Let's go.
So in our heads, we're just like, don't let them catch. Stay back. We want them to force a half-court shot. They got one dude inbounding the ball. I'm standing at half court, right? They run a little action, two guys. One goes over, one goes under. They throw it to half court. I see the ball. I'm not really thinking too much. I'm just like, oh, I'm going to go get it so we can go into overtime.
I see the ball go in the air, and Uzziah, most people don't know about Uzziah is that he actually was an amazing football player and baseball player. So that's why he's able to track balls so well. And he tracked it down and caught it a great steal. And then when he caught it and let it go, when it would go up, I just remember hearing the buzzer go off when the ball's in the air. So I just remember thinking, like, oh man, like he got that off.
I catch it. No time's went off the clock yet, so I'm just like, shoot, I might as well put one up. Catch it, take a dribble, shoot it from half court, and shoot, the rest is history. Made it. It went pretty big. you know, I just started running around the court because I didn't know if the refs called a make or not yet. So, but after that, shoot, everyone started rushing the court.
When it went through, first thing I did was look at the refs because I don't want to go crazy and start celebrating. He can't catch it, come down, gather, but when you're playing high school games, it's people running clocks and stuff, so, and there's no instant replay. So I just remember everyone get on the court. And it was a slow reaction from everybody because it was just kind of like a, did that happen? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And euphorium, it was insane.
The shot that I hit, it was definitely probably one of my exciting moments of the year, probably my life, to be honest. But yeah, it was definitely a big shot, but we ended up winning the championship and set us up for the rest of the season for sure.
That was insane. And the fact that it was my son doing it, that didn't hit me until like I got home. And then I was just hearing the notifications, everyone hit me up, and Zai just like, dude, this is going viral. And I started seeing it on Instagram, and next thing I know, Instagram, Twitter, it got all the way up to, I want to say, 3 or 4 million views.
All the way to the end, to Uzi hits the game-winning shot at the end. It was controversial, and the coaches wanted more time. But hey, it was ultimately a good shot. Uzi hit the shot. We win the game. We both become ranked nationally, and it sets Central Texas up. It sets Round Rock up. It sets Stony Point up. And we're both ranked nationally, and we just, from that point on, we really took off as a team. It kind of gelled the guys together, and hey, the sky was the limit from that point on.
Hey, man, what a barn burner. What a game. Hey, I told you they better believe. If they don't believe, I'm going to make them believe. So awesome. So awesome for the season. Hey, go Ty.
Shout out to Uzziah Buntyn and the Stony Point boys basketball. We're going to wake them up. Wake them up.
District, we had a couple, scares of games, but I felt like we handled district pretty well. Starting with, I think it was Vandy, took care of business. That Round Rock game was tough. It was at Round Rock, which is always a tough game, and they played well. And we ended up winning by, I think, 2.
That was, the first game was like Vandy. That was like, it was like everybody kind of knew we were going to beat Vandy. I think everybody knew we were going to like win every district game, but some like Round Rock, it's always like one of the tough game. It wasn't really too bad. But Round Rock, every year Round Rock's always a tough game. Like something's always happening with the fans trying to like get in like the game or something.
We kind of just swept through our district, just District 1. We had some controversy games, one against Vandergrift at their house, where we had some players get ejected, weren't able to play the next game, and the next game was Round Rock again.
Later in district, we get to the Vandergrift game at Vandergrift, and we end up having an incident to where they're saying that all of our players left the bench.
We played the game Tuesday versus Vandergrift at Vandergrift. The suspensions did not come until Friday morning of the Round Rock game, which that was a home game for us versus Round Rock. We end up having only 5 players available.
When I tell you that was one of the most emotional games that we had throughout district, because we played with 5 players and 2 starters, and those guys really went out and played that game very, very hard. The way that Coach Thompson prepared the guys for that game, it was really, really brilliant how we all came together as a family. You could tell that at that moment nothing could tear us apart. No type of adversity could tear us apart. And we stuck together. Those guys went out there and competed.
And, we end up winning the game versus Round Rock. So, going through our district run prepared us for the playoff run.
2 undefeated seasons. And so we excited, and it just kind of set us up for the playoffs, and we was ready to rock, ready to roll.
And ironically, we opened up with a team that had just played Westlake, who we started our season with in Bowie, and it was a great game with Bowie, a well-taught, well-coached team from Coach Lindsay. And then that just started the playoff run after that.
Our first game against Bowie in the playoffs, man, it was a tough game for us because you had to prepare for Bowie. Bowie was one of those who had a great coach in Trey Lindsey, and Trey Lindsey was one of those guys who was an offensive-minded guy. He had a whole bunch of plays, and it was more preparation into preparing for what they were going to bring to us. And game kind of started out close, went back and forth for a while. Josiah went to work. Allen Guyton Jr. went to work that game, and so hey, we had a great time in Austin in front of our home fans, and seeing everybody come out to support us. It was good. It was cool.
Bowie was a team that shoots the three ball extremely well, and they're very well coached. And so we dominated that game pretty well. They just stayed in the game, 15 points or so, just because they shot it so well.
First round was Bowie. And we had played Bowie the year before, so we kind of knew like their scout, like all their players and everything. So the first half it was kind of close, but not too close. The first half was kind of close, and then the second half we just kind of went on a run. Bowie wasn't really a super hard team for us.
So Bowie actually, we scouted them up pretty well. They had a lot of sets. I'm sure they scouted us pretty well too. First half, I did good first half. I think I ended with 14 going into halftime. We had the momentum. We were winning most of the game for sure. And then I ended up getting hurt the second half. Beginning, I started catching cramps and stuff like that. But my team, my teammates, they definitely picked it up and getting us the win.
So we get to go to New Braunfels on our second playoff game, where Coach Buntyn came from. We suffocated him defensively, and we went to Josiah early and often. And he went to work. Uzziah went to work, and Junior Goodland had a great game as well. So, hey, we advanced and moved on at a 20-point win over Judson.
Judson's down, and we had Judson down south. We played in our old gym, actually. So Zaya played in his old gym at Canyon, and Judson, we handled business. We scored 70-plus points as we usually do. We locked up on who we needed to lock up on. It was a very well-executed game plan.
But yeah, everybody kind of played good against Judson. We won by a lot that game too. We were playing as a team. We didn't really have any problems or anything that game.
Judson, round 2 of playoffs. It was back in my hometown, so I was pretty hyped up for that game. We ended up handling business as we should. I think we ended up winning by 15 or 20 or something like that.
We have Judson second round, then we come back, have to play a well-prepared Westlake team that, had us on the ropes in the first half, and we just had to make some adjustments.
The first time we played Westlake, it was a close game, and we knew that they would be over-prepared and ready for us, and we had to make sure that our guys were prepared and ready. Playing back at home, back at Burger Center, sold-out crowd. You talk about lines lined up to the street. They were all the way down to 290 at Burger Center, and the crowds were amazing. And so the kids came out. They played at a high level. Fourth quarter, we took over. It was over with. The game was done.
Going to our third round versus Westlake, second time around, it ended up playing out almost exactly the same. They grinded us to a halt. They played extremely physical. They did their job in regards to forcing Joe into tough situations.
We knew this game was going to be a tough one. How we barely beat Westlake the first game of the season, what to expect. We knew they were going to double me. We knew they were going to try to contain me, stuff like that. So we knew, all the other players.
Tough. Definitely a tough game for sure. It was back and forth. It was a close game, very defensive game. We didn't really put up a lot of points like we usually do. They had a great game plan. We came together, and we ended up winning.
And then we go into the regional run where we play a San Antonio Brennan, and I think that was the game that everybody wanted to see.
The game that we all been looking for was against Brennan, which is a regional semifinal game at the regional tournament.
Round 4, Brennan, same round we lost in last year, the year before.
the second year in a row with Brennan. What was it going to look like? Who was going to make the biggest adjustments? Was Stony Point going to be prepared? Those were all the questions that we were hearing going into the game. So we played a Brennan game.
We still had something to prove. The job was not finished. We had to go handle our business, and we get to play against Big Bad Brennan again. We jumped out on Brennan. We really did. We jumped out on Brennan, and our guys were locked in. They were mastering their assignments. Made it a nip and tuck game towards the end.
If you don't know, Brennan, that was a home game for them because they played in Northside Gym. So we played pretty much a road game at Brennan for regional semifinal, the exact game that we lost last year. We were not prepared last year. We were prepared this past year.
We definitely did not want to lose, especially the returners like me and Joe, Landon, everyone who, was on that team when we lost. You should have saw the locker room. We just didn't want that feeling again.
I remember looking at Zaya, and Zaya's practice that week was the most intense and most focused I've ever seen Zaya practice. And it was because he was horrible. He did not play well against Brennan last year, at his sophomore year.
Brennan was a crazy game. Everybody was prepared for that game. Like we were excited. We were more excited. I think that game we were more excited than nervous because of how we lost to them last year. They took us out of the playoffs, and we shouldn't have lost them in the first place.
Whole first half, we were up by double digits, I want to say. Second half, now, they got one of the best players in the state as well. And he started trying to will his team to a win as he does because he's just a great player.
It was definitely a close game. I feel like we definitely had the momentum earlier in the game. Towards the stretch, it's a game of runs. Two great teams going at it. Fourth quarter, back and forth.
And then it came down to the last play of the game. I think we were down. And then the play before the last play, Devon, he had shot a three and he missed. He airballed or missed really bad. So I guess they were kind of sagging off him.
I think we called a timeout. We drew up a play. I was passing in the ball, and I think they had two on Joe. Landon was going corner. They were doubling Joe.
And whenever we got out the huddle and everyone started going to their spots, Twan goes up to Zion. He's like, Devon's going to be open. Devon's going to be open.
I scanned the floor a little bit, saw Devon, threw it to him, and, he hit the game-winning shot for us to go to the next round, round 5.
We try to pride ourselves on out-of-timeout plays, and he drew up a play for Big Twin Devon Hewitt, knocked it down, boom, we win the game.
That was a really, really big shot. It was a buzzer beater too.
Very exciting moment for us as a team, especially getting beat last year, and it was very good for us as a team for sure.
End up winning that game at the buzzer. We heard the shot around the state, seen the shot around the state from Devon Hewitt.
That was a huge shot. We really wouldn't have went to state if he didn't miss that shot. And it would have sucked too, losing to the same team 2 years in a row.
Walk-off tray ball. We win that game. Super excited. It was good to be able to go back and beat Brennan after they beat us last year.
That was an extremely proud moment. And I knew by the time we played O'Connor the next game that it didn't matter. We were coming in like a bulldozer, and we handled business.
I think, after that, it was O'Connor. It was kind of an easy game. We kind of went through that.
And it was a huge point for us, a belief point for the boys at the regional tournament. We turn around and play O'Connor the next day, that Saturday, and great opportunity with, we got the monkey off our back. Now we just got to go play.
I would say we were definitely banged up. Tough game. They were well coached, but we did end up handling business. We ended up winning by 15 or something like that. Solid game. It was definitely a very solid game for us.
Winning that regional tournament, that was a lot of emotion. Watching my son cut down the net, knowing the things I've been through as a coach, and as a dad, watching his son grow, the things that my son had to go through as a player, the hate that he received where he used to play, and the things that they didn't believe that he can do all over the state and country, and also being a coach of a regional championship team going to state, that's something I could never imagine.
So after winning the regional championship, and we come back and we're excited, but now it's the mental preparation for being prepared for something that none of us had ever done before.
And then we walk into the mammoth of Beaumont United, who had been to state 4 consecutive years with that group. That was that group's 4th year going to the state championship. And we had them in a semifinal game, and, you know, the players stepped up.
And then Beaumont United. Beaumont United was a tough team. Like we knew, like we kind of had our eye on them since like TABC, because we knew like we were gonna have to play them at some point. Because they were probably our toughest game at TABC.
Round 6, Beaumont United, semis, state semis. We didn't know what to expect.
I remember that Monday trying to figure out all the state official things. First thing we did, we printed up and put job not done on every locker room because we knew state championship was our goal.
And so we get an opportunity to go play at the state championship, the state tournament against Beaumont United, one of the best teams in that area. We were excited. Our kids were excited to be there.
It was definitely a moment that we wanted to take advantage of.
Throughout the game, you know, it was a back and forth. Joe did what he do, and then Uzziah took over in the second half and closed down the game. Like it was an amazing game to watch because Beaumont United was a hell of a team. We knew they were going to be good. Even though they're missing one of their best players, they were still really damn good, and they did everything in their power. But we were not going to be denied. We played a hell of a game.
Start of the game, it was very, subtle, trying to get used to the ball. It was very slippery. That's the one thing I remember, like getting like my hands warm and stuff like that. It's my first time playing in a place like that, so it was definitely a good moment to be in.
We were extremely prepared, but I think players stepped up and won us that game just simply off of the execution in the 3rd and 4th quarters. The coaches can't do it. All we can do is prepare them for it, put them in situations, and the players did that in the 3rd and 4th quarter versus Beaumont United.
We played hard, but I think Uzziah Buntyn had it on his mind that night. He really did, and he went out and he willed us to a victory against those guys. Him and Josiah and Junior Goodlett, they both came out and played very, very well that night, and it just set us up for where we wanted to be. We knew that if we won that game, we would get a shot back at the only team in the state that had beat us that year. So last year, so we wanted to make sure that we basically won that game.
Actually, I remember I busted out of my shoe. I think it was first half. I busted out my shoe. I had to switch shoes with one of my teammates. Actually, second half comes around. Very, very tight game. Their guys are hitting shots. We're hitting shots. I played well. Our team played well.
So we win the Beaumont United game, and it's a celebratory moment. But the job wasn't done, and we wanted to go in and get to where we wanted to be.
How you feel, Uz? How you feel, bro? Man, it's crazy, man. Hey, we still got one more. Hey, job not done. Job not done.
Which ultimately led us playing to the last day of the season, the last game of the season, the 6A state championship versus a Plano East team, the one team that we had lost to all year. So the anticipation was high for that game.
Next game, the next day, state. I would say definitely. So we lost to Plano earlier in the year. We lost by like 5, I think, and they ended up being #1 in the state. And I'm not gonna lie to you, like the rest of the year, that's really what we had our mind on.
Again, it's set up for what everybody in the state of Texas expected, the highest classification, 6A basketball, and you had the best 2 teams in the state playing each other. And the game started out, we took some bad shots early, took some jump shots, and we talked about it. Don't take no jump shots. Go get layups, get in the paint, score early. And our guys still kind of settled, but we were never out of the game. The game was close the entire time.
State tournament we just like didn't execute a lot. Like we had some good plays. Like we were down. I think we were down by 2 at one point in the third quarter, and then we just couldn't capitalize, I guess.
We didn't play well enough to win that game. Plano East played extremely well to beat us that game.
Yeah, we just didn't. I guess we just didn't really show up. But yeah, we could have played better, a lot better that game. I think it would have been a much different outcome. So yeah, I guess like it was just a learning opportunity.
So they looked like the team that was tougher and the team that was going to win a state championship, and they did. And they were tougher than us. They made more shots. They got more rebounds. They offensive rebounds destroyed us. And we wrote at the bottom of our scout, we win state championship if we box out number 4. And number 4 destroyed us.
Especially since it was Plano East too, so we kind of wanted revenge. They were our only loss before that other season. So yeah, it was mainly like excitement. Like we just wanted revenge.
That Plano East team coming in 39-0. They gave us a second belt whooping, and man, you know, the better team won that day. The better team won, and shout out to Plano East with their undefeated season. But great job to our boys as well for how they played throughout the season and that state championship.
Yeah, so it was my first time being on the stage like that. I didn't have my best performance. I feel like I let the team down a little bit, but I'm gonna be there for us this upcoming year.
So yeah, this year I expect us to be back at the same place. Landon and Uzziah, they're probably gonna be captains of the team. I expect them to like carry us to state.
That's definitely not how we wanted to end out the season, but that's what this season's for. Like, we're ready to go for sure. We definitely got something to prove.
Yeah, so we're gonna come for state this year. Me and my guys, we're gonna be there, trying to go 40-0 this year, so we can do it again. But coming for it all this year.
That point on, our mindset is always, we don't want the silver. We're going back to get the gold. And so that's where we are right now. Our mindset is to go get the gold. We're going to go get what belongs to us, and that's what we want, that state championship.
For those guys that all played on the court that day, I think that's the driving force that's going to help us get back there and win.
Just come with work. We cannot become content, and I think a lot of people expect us to become content, but I know for myself, my coaches, and what we are going to implement going into August, you know, is getting back to the work and understanding that the job is not done. That's our motto for this year, and that's what we're going to lead with the forefront, leading with job's not done. We have to continue to work. We have to continue to get better, because that is the only way that we manage success, and that is the only way that we can continue to build on what we did last year.
The lessons from last year is making sure that we're prepared for that final moment. You just have to be prepared for the final moment. It was a lot that went into that state championship game that we had never been in, and so we want to make sure that we're prepared for that. We've seen it. We've been through it. Now we're ready to go get it.
We have to stay hungry. We cannot allow ourselves to think that we did everything and we're good to go. I think our guys that are returning, and when I say guys returning, I'm talking about the ones that actually was on the court in those final games especially. They got to be the ones that lead the guys that have not been there before, to have that driving aspect all the time.
Taking that loss, it hurt, but I don't want to feel that again, so I'm going to do everything in my power to go back and blow them out by 10 plus, 30 plus.
I handled the pressure. I feel like I handled the pressure well, especially being a point guard. A lot of deep breaths, a lot of praying, and I feel like, you know, even though it didn't end up the way we wanted to, I handled it pretty well.
I think the biggest lesson I got is to never be content. I feel like some games, like we should have kind of blown everybody out or won by like plus 10. And some games we kind of came out slow, like we kind of knew we were gonna win right away, and we just got like content, like we didn't really care about the game. But
I think reaching the finals allowed me to not only become more of a learner with some of the things that I didn't know from the intangibles off the floor, but I also think that the loss prepared me to get back to the X's and O's and the fundamental sounds of the game that we need to be better at going into the 24-25 season.
I feel like I have a great role this year. I have a bigger role, and me, Uzi, we're gonna be like some of the like bigger people on the team. So we just gotta keep everyone involved, leaders and all that stuff.
My role has evolved very much, especially with Josiah leaving. I'm the next guy that my teammates look up to, and I definitely want to prove them right.
I think the best advice I would get is probably trust the process, especially with the coaches. Like Coach Thompson, he's a really he gets on you a lot, but it's for the best. Like you understand when you get to college, like what he was preparing you for, what he was helping you for, and all this is for the result and the end game. I definitely wouldn't be in this position that I am now without Coach Thompson. So.
A way that I feel like I've grown as a coach is, adjusting. We're not going to be able to play the same way that we have the last 2 years. So TABC was a great testament to how we were going to adjust with everything that we've done in the spring and the early summer. And then now utilizing that as a tool to see where we will be going. So, being able to adjust, adapt, and grow to, the new implementation of what we will be doing.
I would say some strengths for this team this year is definitely our bench. We're gonna play a lot of guys, and I would also say just how we play. We play very fast. We're gonna play very fast, and the way we shoot the ball and press. I feel like we're gonna be a really hard team to beat this year for sure.
I feel like our strengths are definitely athleticism and shooting, and we're all guards, so we're all going to be playing extremely fast.
What drives me to be a better player each day, I would say my dad. My dad, his career got cut short due to knee injuries and stuff like that, and I know how much he wants this for me. So just knowing that, and it really does it gives me the extra push that I need, when I'm working out, doing other things. That's really my why, for sure.
Whenever you're a parent and you have to coach, you have to learn how to be just a dad and just a parent. It's very hard. It's a very difficult thing to have a separate line between coach and dad. So why we're so good at it, I think, is because here at school and on the court, I'm coach. Coach B, coach all the time. When we walk out those doors and get into the truck, going home, it's dad. And my son has done a very good job with that as well. So we separate it very well.
This season, definitely a season that we are ready for, and definitely a season that you should want to be a part of and not want to miss, for sure.
I feel like we have a great chance. I feel like our team's still good. We lost some big pieces, but we still got some dudes. Some guys are stepping up. So I feel like we have another great shot at state.
So yeah, this season is going to be amazing, man. We are so excited about this basketball season. This season is going to be so dope. We all stay tuned, watch and see what them Stony Point Tigers do. Hey, we're going to pull out about 6 or 7 new uniforms. The coaching staff is going to be super fresh. So every time y'all see us, it's going down. We coming for that title, I guarantee you. So stay tuned and watch and see what we do.
Well, man, look, this year we are really looking forward to seeing you in the gym near us, seeing you with us out on the road, and seeing you supporting these Stony Point Tigers this 24-25 season. It's going to be games that you do not want to miss. It's going to be games that you do not want to miss a dunk. You don't want to miss a layup. You better get there early, get to the concession stand, get some of that popcorn, get you a water, a Coke, whatever you need, because it's going to be some thrill moments throughout the season. We got something to prove this year. The job's not done. This is a season that will be with high stakes, high opportunities. We hope to see you there. I know that if you're there, you're supporting this train. And one thing that you got to know, this train ain't stopping because we got something to prove.